Yes, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are doing good with all the online courses, lectures, practicals, assignments, exams, projects, and whatnot. So, to give you a break from all this, ITSA is back with another live webinar sponsored by Innovative Minds India on the topic Research Paper Writing and Publishing by Dr. S.D. Thepade. I would request Head of IT Department, Professor Dr. S.A. Mahajan sir, to introduce us to our today's speaker. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Anshul. A very good afternoon to all the dear students who have come to join this wonderful session. So I see around 100 of students have joined this session from Computer and IT Department. I welcome you, all of you, and I also welcome on behalf of PVG College of Engineering and Technology and GK Patewan Institute of Management to Dr. Sudeep Thepade sir. The today's session is conducted by Department of Information Technology in association with our student association, that is ITSA. So we have prepared the theme research paper writing and publishing for the students, typically for ACTB students. As you all are aware that this becomes a very mandatory thing in our curriculum across SPPU, and it also been a very good no academically it requires all of you to be uh, in good way how to publish the papers or how to read the papers, what typical things which you need to refer very quickly from the journals and papers. So all these intricacies related to the paper publishing or identifying the research paper and all of this becomes a very important part of your SET and B as well. Keeping this thing in mind, we have organized this today's webinars, and today we have with us a distinguished person related to this particular area. So let me introduce Dr. Sudeep Thepade in a brief. Dr. Sudeep Tepade is currently is in PCCOE College of Engineering in Computer Department. He is a professor in Computer Engineering Department. He is coordinator, PhD Research Center, and PG Computer Engineering. He is also member of Board of Studies, IT, SPPU Pune. He is also member Board of Faculty Science and Technology, SPPU Pune. He has completed his graduation in 2003, then his post-graduation in computer engineering from Mumbai University in 2008 with distinction, and he completed his PhD in computer engineering in 2011. So, as some of you might be aware about, if you have Google about Dr. Sudeep Thepade, you will come to know his prominent research areas are image processing, video processing, biometrics, discrete transform. So, quite a distinguished research area. Along with this, he has a couple of international associations. So he is a member of International Advisory Committee for many international conferences, acting as reviewer for many referred international journals, transactions, including IEEE and IET. And as you are aware about, in image processing domain and biometric identification. Along with that, this is not the thing. He is also the research guide across various platforms. Like he is a PCCOE research PhD supervisor at PCCOE Research Center, SPPU Pune, then Department of Technology, SPPU Campus Pune, North Maharashtra University, and University of Calcutta. He has till date guided two PhD scholars successfully and currently guiding seven PhD scholars. He has guided 20 MTech projects and uh, many, we can say, BTech projects or the undergraduates projects. Now, coming to the point, why Tripade sir is with us is because of this reason. He has around 320 international papers published across repute journals and conferences in India and abroad, to his credit, with many best paper awards. And he has around 4052 plus citations with H index 31 and I index 95. That is a tremendous contribution as far as his domain area or expertise is concerned. So he has a lot of things to tell you and guide you as far as all the detailings about the paper publication, journaling, and conferencing and whatnot, everything. So he has total about around 18 plus years of experience in teaching, in research, and in industry. Before coming to PCCOE, he was the lecturer at Tadomal Shahani Engineering College in Bandra, Mumbai for 4 years. Then he worked for a few more years in Mukesh Patel School of Technology Management and Engineering, again in Mumbai, and then he shifted to PCCOE. So currently he is professor in Computer Engineering Department at PCCOE. So I do request all of you refer his Google Scholar profile and the Scopus profile. You will find it very interesting one. So this is a very brief introduction about Dr. Sudeep Thepade sir, and I do hope today's session will be very, very fruitful to all of you, and you will certainly enjoy. And at the end, I also request Thepade sir, if there are any queries from students, kindly guide us, guide our students. And I request Sushan to take over at the end so that there will be a smooth transition for during the question answer session if there are any queries from students. So I think this is time to rightly hand over to Sudeep sir, and he may guide the students in that perspective. Over to you, Sudeep sir.
Thank you, sir. It is indeed a pleasure and wonderful opportunity to interact with students of PVG. I am thankful to my very dear friend, Dr. Surendra Mahajan, sir, who has been always an inspiration and motivator in roaming through university matters and other matters related to academics. So thank you very much, sir, for giving this opportunity to interact with students.
Welcome, sir.
Without wasting much of time of students, I would be starting the discussions. So the topic given to me is technical research paper writing. I hope somebody is recording and will make this session available to even me.
Yes, yes, sure.
Okay. So the technical research paper writing, when we say always in our UG or PG degrees that research papers have to be written, always the first question comes to our mind: why is it necessary to write the research paper on the findings which we have done? So what is shown on this slide? I would say this symbolizes the dream which each one of us do possess. This is my dream that one day I'll be owning a Lexus. You may have your own dream, so you may consider this slide as a symbolic slide representing the dreams which each one is possessing. So how to fulfill these dreams? Towards the end of this presentation, I'll be talking about how to reach to those dreams. Now, why to have the research papers published? Is it to get PhDs, masters or bachelor's degrees? Is it because it is mentioned in the norms? Is it to get recognition and promotions at job? Is it to get better job opportunities? Is it to get more increments or higher packages by industry? These all are the myths. All these are byproducts of getting your research published. The facts are always we should try to provide solutions to few of the complex problems. Being engineer, it is our job to provide solutions to the societal problems, local grassroots problems to the extent possible, to make new discoveries, to develop new product, to save cost, to minimize human efforts in day-to-day activities by giving some smart engineering solutions. And the most important part is throughout engineering curriculum, the one part which everybody will agree is nurtured very much, which is our technical thrust. Always whatever we do, we try to optimize that thing whenever second time we are repeating that thing. So this optimization is inherent present, and engineering minds right from their graduation age are nurtured to have this technical thrust getting somehow satisfied. So each one of us do have technical thrust. If I'm taking some path from my place to college every day I'll be learning something and I'll try to optimize the distance which I'm covering. So this optimization is also nothing but implicit research. So again, technical paper writing, shall it be done for name and fame? Shall it be done because you'll be getting chance to attend conferences? You will be getting to meet your delegates for networking, for admission for higher studies abroad, or for your MS or MTech admissions. Definitely it plays some important role, but the fact is it is very obvious that every research needs good and proper documentation. So whatever we are researching or trying to coming up with, whatever explorations we are doing in form of our projects, we should put forth those explorations in a lucid manner in form of English document, to share those results and our experiences with other researchers, so that experiences may be success stories, they may be failure stories, but unless and until we are not sharing it, people who are trying to or who are getting motivated to repeat the same path will not be getting guided. And most important part is, whatever we have done with our limitations, experimentation in our laboratories or simulators, we should get some views of the like-minded people about further improvements on our work. So because of these three reasons, that our research should get documented, it should get referred by others, and we should get some opportunity to showcase it to like-minded people who are working into those respective areas or who are knowledgeable in those areas. We should write technical papers. When we say technical papers or research papers, actually there is categorization or classification of these technical papers. The categorization can be, there are research papers, there are tutorial papers, there are survey or review papers, there are short papers, there are workshop papers, and there are poster papers. One by one, we'll try to see this categorization, and then we'll be jumping upon how to select topic for writing a paper, and at the end, what should be the details which should be written in a proper research paper. So research paper, the first type of technical write-up is where research worker will be pursuing some investigations, either through lab experimentation or with help of some simulations on some particular topic. This topic will be the solution provided to one of the problem areas being discussed in engineering disciplines in whichever the researcher is working. And then that researcher would like to report their findings in form of a journal or conference paper. So if we are investigating with help of experimentation our own thought process about solving a particular problem, and if that investigation is written in form of a technical report where results will be integral part, and analysis of those results which we have obtained through lab experimentation or simulations would be very, very important part of that technical write-up, then such write-up can be referred as a research paper, which can be published at journal or respective conference. If supposedly some researcher is taking a topic and is trying to understand that topic and trying to understand 2 or 3 plus solutions being provided towards that respective topic of engineering problem, and at the end, after understanding those 3 plus solutions, if those 3 solutions are compared and put in a common thread with reference to each other in very unified and lucid manner, that kind of comparison write-up is referred as tutorial paper. So minimum 3 plus papers you have to take which are providing solutions to an engineering problem with reference to some topic, and those solutions if we are trying to compare with each other, and that comparison in our own wordings if we are trying to put with reference to some common thread in very unified and lucid manner, that can be referred as tutorial paper. So comparing 2-3 existing solutions would be resulting into a tutorial paper. Survey paper is little more lengthier than that of tutorial paper. Here we try to identify from first time when the problem got into existence or when the problem got invented, and how people have attempted solutions since the problem got invented till date, what could be future course of action or inventions in that respective area. So this whole exhaustive information right from the inception of the problem till date, what all solution approaches people have attempted, what is current state of art, and what could be expected in future into that area. If we are trying to take a journey in chronological order of time about development into that respective area, right from inception till date, and then if we are trying to peep into future, this all chronological development with reference to solution to that engineering problem, if we are trying to put forth in a technical document, that would be referred as survey paper. So survey paper will be much exhaustive and lengthier than that of tutorial paper. Third category of papers is very short papers, just for being for sake of participating in some symposium or competition. If we are coming up with a write-up which could be a future scenario, which could be different applications of a particular technology, for example blockchain technology nowadays is coming up in a big way. So what would be and how would be blockchain technologies used for securing your mark sheets by university, for authentication of mark sheets, how those common ledgers would be used for smart contracting. If we are coming up with such scenario which is novel enough, and if you're trying to put that in a technical write-up, that can be referred as a short paper. Many a times, if we want to be first to report our invention to some journal or conference, we may take help of short papers. Here one has to claim on their own findings, and they may report through short note or letter to editor of that respective journal or organizers of that respective conference. As name suggests, these are really short papers. Exhaustive information is missed out from these papers, but they play a very important role to introduce that topic or our idea or future scenario of use of any of the existing or current technologies for different application areas. Then there are some papers generally declared in conferences as poster papers, where the paper may be of very good findings and research work, but if it is not suiting to the mass audience who is attending that symposium or conference, and if very few people out of total mob which is attending, or like-minded researchers who are attending that conference would be interested into, and if the conference organizers do not wish to lose that good work, if they don't want to lose the credit of representing that work at their platform, they generally declare few papers as poster papers. The idea is where mass audience who is attending this symposium or conference would not be interested, but the like-minded people will be interested. Very few audience would be interested, and the concept is worth getting the platform. So these kind of papers are put in a category of poster papers. Then there are workshop papers. For example, how to use Kaggle for deep convolutional neural network kind of classification problems, or how to develop those architectures using a new platform. So these kind of technical things, if we are coming up with in the form of live demos or hands-on experiences, those are written generally in form of workshop papers, which will be giving live demos or hands-on experience notes to a novice user if they want to use those kind of things in their own thing. For example, how to set up wireless sensor network topology using say NS2 or NS3. If we are coming up with this kind of write-up, which will be giving a guidance about how to use latest niche technologies or simulator for getting your research work or environment created, those kind of papers are called as workshop papers. So to sum this up, whenever we are being asked to write a paper, we always get in a mind that always it must have to be a research paper. But understanding categorization and topology of these research papers or technical papers becomes very important before we actually start diving into writing our own paper, or before we are being asked to read some of the papers which are written by other authors. So research papers, tutorial papers, survey or review papers, short paper, workshop paper, and poster paper are the categories. Research papers where experimental evaluations and analysis is being mentioned by obtained results in form of the readings observed in experimental setup in laboratories or through simulators. Tutorial papers where 2 or 3 solutions to a problem at hand would be compared with each other, and that comparison would be represented in a uniform lucid manner with help of some common thread. Survey paper or review paper will be exhaustive study right from inception of that problem till date, and what is anticipated in future, that would be presented. So that will be your survey or review paper. In short paper, we will be trying to take part in some symposium or some conference or in some special issue of journals. Workshop papers, wherein we will be trying to share our hands-on experiences about how to use new technology or novice technology for getting the applications developed. Those will be your workshop papers. And poster papers, where mass audience may not be interested but work is worth getting published, those will be put in poster papers. After understanding all these types of papers, now from where shall we start? How shall we select a topic for writing our paper or for getting the experimentation done, which will be resulting into a technical write-up? So always we do like some domains and we don't like other domains, like hardware and software with reference to computer or IT. Most of us do like software more than that of hardware domain or microprocessor domain. In software, we may have multiple subjects. One may like software engineering more over databases. Other may like databases more over networks. Few of you may like machine learning more over networks or software engineering. Likewise, there is some subject of our own liking. In that subject, there can be multiple topics and we may like few of the topics. It might be because of our own understanding, because of our background, because of our reading. We get inclined towards few topics and other topics do not appeal us. Even in those topics with reference to subject of our choice and domain of our interest, there could be few concepts which may catch our attention more as compared to other concepts. These concepts would be giving us some keywords and we will be using these keywords for further search on either search engine or research website. Dr. Google is one of the best resources to begin with. And we will be visiting library. Nowadays, it is very rare and due to COVID situation, people do not visit library. But online, we will try to search those catchy keywords and we will try to find out that catchy research in that catchy keyword plus.pdf, plus.ppt, plus.doc. Google will be giving us number of snippets as a result of this search line. All those snippets initially will be appearing to be Greek and Latin for us. We may not be able to make most of our understanding about those snippets. Go on repeating this exercise, go on checking these snippets number of times, and slowly, without understanding, you will develop some knowledge about those snippets. Those snippets, after reading again and again, you will be able to, or your brain will be able to figure out that there are some problems which are being addressed in the catchy keyword, or if I am searching research with reference to the catchy keywords with reference to the subject of my choice. So you will try knowing that there exist few problems. You won't be understanding them, but for sure you will try knowing that there exists problem category 1, problem category 2, problem category 3 with reference to that catchy keyword. One of the problem categories you may like or may catch your attention more than that of other problem categories. Now we will have to modify our search line, and now we will have to change that search line by saying, earlier we were searching research in catchy keyword. Now plus PDF, plus PPT, plus DOC. Now we'll be searching solution to a particular problem with reference to research in catchy keyword. Again, plus PDF, plus PPT, plus DOC. Most of these snippets you may not be able to understand, but after glancing through those snippets or results of Google, you will come to know automatically, your brain will develop a capability of classifying these solutions into type 1, type 2, type 3, hardware specific, software specific, likewise. So you will try to have minimum 2 or 3 solutions which are catching most of your attention at hand. So we have started with subject, concept, then catchy keyword. Research in catchy keyword has given us problems with reference to that research, and with reference to a particular problem, when we have attempted solutions to the research problem in catchy keyword, we have come up with 2-3 approaches of solving that problem. One approach we have deciding, and we are trying to get 2 or 3 solutions with reference to that approach for reading. Now, if you try reading, try to read and comprehend most of the solution which you are selecting. At least 2-3 solutions you select and try reading them. Now here in first reading, it may invariably so happen that you may not be in position to understand anything out of that solution. But you should not worry about it. This happens to each and every beginner. This has happened with me. This has happened with everyone, all your teachers, all the people who are working in industry. But this is a very good beginning, that you have a solution addressing a problem with reference to a catchy keyword into your subject of liking or subject which is catching your attention. Now you look into the references, you look for Wikipedia, search on Google for the terminologies which are mentioned in the solution but which you do not understand. So most of those terminologies you will be able to understand through Wikipedia and Google. Few of the terminologies would be very tricky, where you will just be knowing those terminologies, you won't be able to understand. In this case, for the left out terminologies with reference to that solution, contact special interest groups. Try figuring out who are the people in and around you who are working in those areas. Who are the authors of that respective document? Try writing them emails, because with every research paper, email IDs are mentioned. People or the authors will be more than happy to support you in understanding. Tell them that this is where you have got stuck and you want more reading material. They will be sharing. There are some online communities and social media platforms like ResearchGate is one of the communities. LinkedIn also do help to some extent in identifying who are the people working in those respective areas. Try to figure out experts in your vicinity. Try to seek their appointments. Try to contact them through emails. Try to use all blogs of related areas for posting your questions and getting queries answered. Here, sincere efforts and meticulous efforts would be required, but all the people you will find are really helping. There is lot of knowledge available in Wikipedia and in Google in form of notes and videos, and you invariably will be able to understand most of the part of that respective solution with reference to a problem statement. This would be beginning thread. Out of now multiple approaches or solutions, maybe 2 or 3 you will try reading. Try to select a feasible solution which you will be able to reproduce. Now here, either the source code could be available on GitHub to ease out your reproducibility, which you will have to invariably understand. And understanding the source code written by somebody else is most difficult task, believe me, rather than understanding the concept and writing your own program. So this feasibility will be with reference to dependency, hardware resource availability, software resource availability, mentoring if is available, if some special interest groups are available for discussing your ideas, if you have prior exposure to certain concepts, if you are comfortable with Python, you will be going with Python libraries. If you are comfortable with Java, you will be going with Java libraries likewise. So that feasibility should be worked out, and whichever you find is easily reproducible, that solution you will have to stick to, further dig out that solution, try to reproduce it with help of the test bed which authors have given. Understand that approach for its advantages and disadvantages. Even if you are getting one of the advantages which can be improvised further, or one of the limitations which for which the negative effect can be minimized, subsided to some extent, that would be your idea or your eureka moment, and that will be giving you clear idea about your research. So we have started with a subject of our inclination. From that subject, we have mentioned further that we will be going into or digging out the catchy keywords. Research with reference to those catchy keywords When we are trying to search that research through snippets replied by Google, we'll be getting idea about the problem statements with reference to catchy keyword. From those problems, we will select a problem and we will try refining our query with reference to the solutions provided to a particular research problem in or with reference to the catchy keyword. Out of number of solutions, we will try selecting 2 or 3 solutions. We will try comprehending and reading them. We'll try understanding them, and we'll try checking which solution is easily reproducible. So this visibility from person to person, environment to environment would vary. Finally, after selecting a feasible solution, we will try understanding those approaches or one of the approaches with reference to advantages and disadvantages, and we will try thinking, can we modify the betterment of this particular approach of solution, or can we minimize the adverse impact of one of the limitations or boundary conditions of the solution being proposed? If yes, then further we will try to do how to do that. So coming to compare the solutions proposed by selected approach for selected problem related to catchy keyword from the concept of favorite subject of research domain. In reverse manner for this sentence, if you are reading only blue words, we may like some domain. In that domain, a subject may catch our attention. In that subject, a particular concept we may like. With reference to that concept, we will be finding out catchy keywords and problem related to catchy keyword. Now, for this problem, we will be selecting a solution and we will be trying to understand that solution to the fullest. If we are able to understand that solution and if we are able to comment these are the strengths and these are the weaknesses or lacunas of this solution, then we will be developing an ability to critically acclaim the solutions being developed by some other authors. And in order to have this ability, lot of efforts of comprehending or understanding of that solution would be required. Now we will be ready for our contribution. If from these strengths we identify or dig out after understanding the solution that one of these strengths can be modified, one of the limitations can be, or there can be multiple directions of giving your own contribution. This contribution can be modified design. If we understand the original design very well and if our mind is suggesting that there may exist some alternative step or process to reach out the final output of the original design, then we may come up with a new proposal. We may compare our proposal with existing, and that can be considered as our own contribution. And that comparison of existing solution and our proposed new modified design can be compared together, and that can give you your contribution, which can be put in form of a research paper. There can be better implementation always if you catch hold of few of these strengths, and if one of these strengths you are further enhancing. If some efficiency parameter is being catch hold of for existing solution, and if you are getting that efficiency is improvised further because of your thought process, because of your delta modification into existing solution, then you will be implementing existing, you will be implementing your modified, and you will be comparing both of these, and you will be showing that the efficiency is getting improvised with reference to this parameter. And that comparison with experimentation, if you are trying to put forth in form of a technical write-up, that will be your research paper. Along with better implementation and modified design, there can be new proofs. The fact is, results can be provided in many ways. Few of the ways if authors have already used, and if your mind is suggesting, if your technical knowledge is advanced to such an extent that you are trying to prove that concept in a novel, innovative way, then that innovative proof can also be part of the research. We are trying to prove the same thing, but in an efficient way or in an innovative way, which may be computationally lighter, which may be computationally faster, which may be having less memory requirement. These new proofs will also be compared with existing, and that comparison can be put in form of research paper, and that can be your technical contribution. Further extensions, generally coming out of few of the limitations, lacunas, or minimizing the adverse impact of few of the limitations of existing solutions. If your mind is stuck in some idea, try to explore those ideas, try to simulate them with help of simulators, and if it is working or even if it is not working, both, if you're trying to compare with existing solution, either go by this way, the impact of this adverse limitation would be minimized, or the impact will not be minimized. Both kind of observations can be put forth in form of your own research paper. You may think about new applications, something which is applied in psychology. Can you apply that same thing for understanding the traits of trade transactions of share market, of banking, of detection of some frauds? These kind of ideas you'll have to think about, something which is applicable in mechanical domain. Can we apply same theory for machine learning, for computing applications? Something which is applied in nature, naturally, by mother nature, can we apply those bio-inspired algorithms for computing applications? Those kind of application of some existing knowledge which is used in one domain or one field for totally drastically different field for solving some of the engineering problems, that can give you a new horizon of new applications. And wheresoever new applicable thing is being found, that you may further take and you may explore it, you may write your own research paper and contribute into those directions. For example, something which is being identified for speech recognition. Can you identify the rag being sung by classical singer using those all features? These kind of things you will have to learn. Nowadays, we are calling this all thing as reinforcement learning. All your deep neural network architectures would be trained to learn and divide or classify certain patterns. And altogether, those trained networks would be used, will be with little modification for classification of entirely different application. So this has great future. Once you are coming up with either extension, better implementation, modified design, new proofs, further extensions, new applications, you will have to write up the research findings in form of your research paper. So give very lucid introduction by stating what is current state of art, by bringing in existing limitations very clearly, by explaining the requirements to remove few of the limitations of existing solutions. So putting forth the need, why your research is important or significance becomes very important when you're writing your own research papers. And your approach to overcome these limitations will be then getting more value. So it is setting a platform for your own solution. Why did you think and why that solution is so significant? Here, don't use any shortcuts. Generally, the structure of research paper can be thought about in 3 simple folds. Fold number 1 is preliminary or preface. When we say preliminary or preface section, it consists of these subsections. You need to have a proper title conveying your research and the outcome or findings very clearly in crisp and clear, unambiguous manner. Like, what modification have you attempted in existing solution? Is it strengthening a particular positive side? Is it minimizing the impact of one of the limitations? Is it coming out of that limitation totally? Is it a new proof? Is it new exploration? Is it new applicable, new application area for the existing fact which was conventionally being used in other areas? That should be very clearly stated through your title. Then there is contributing author list. So all the authors who have contributed into coming up with that finding or observations must have to be enlisted here. The one who has contributed most should be first author, and others could be in that chronological order. Then you should write in very crisp sense that what is current state of art, what problem are you talking about, what kind of solution are you proposing to that respective problem, and how your solution is better than others, what experimentation has been done, what are the experimental findings. In one line, if you are writing that what is need, what is the problem statement, then what is solution approach, how your solution is different than other, how experimentation has been performed, and what are the experimental findings. These 5-6 lines will be giving you abstract. In short, if only abstract is read, somebody who is seasoned researcher in that respective area should get complete idea about what is there in the lengthy document or research paper. And then you should be able to identify few of the keywords. These play a very important role for indexing of that document and making that document appear in all these searches related to these keywords. So finding out keywords are very important. After preliminary section, you have main body of the research paper, which is divided in 5 subsections. You have to write introduction, literature review, research methodology, data collection and analysis or observations, discussion and conclusion. In introduction part, you will have to write what is the background of your study, why have you selected that respective problem, what is the problem which you are going to address in that respective study, why that problem is so important to be studied, what is purpose or objective of that studying that respective problem, what could be the possible research question, like if I am modifying this, will that be resulting into improvement, if I am modifying this, will that be resulting into improvement. All these would be your research questions. And then few terminologies, if you are going to introduce newly in your solution, you will have to define those terminologies. You will have to clearly state what will be use of this solution in future, or modification which you are claiming in future to the research community or society at large in form of significance of your study. And then in short, you will have to wind up this introduction by putting what is novelty of your approach in bulleted format and how the remaining paper or research article is organized. In literature review, you will have to start with what is the problem again, and then general area of research, some theory concepts if are very necessary to understand your solution, then you will have to make the user understand those theory concepts here. If there are some terminologies, variables which previous literature conventionally have used, you will have to put those variables and their references here. And theoretically, you will have to form the framework that what is current state of progress into solutions being proposed for a particular problem with reference to engineering discipline or your catchy keyword. And then you will have to put your assumptions that, okay, if something has been done, we are expecting that in this way, if we are tweaking or modifying the solution, it would be resulting into these betterments. That is referred as your hypothesis. And then at the end, you will have to say that existing solutions are addressing these domains, but this newly is being tweaked or addressed by our solution. That will be your concluding remark of literature survey. Then you will have to, in research part 3, research methodology section of your main body, you will have to write about what is your own design, what are the variables and conditions which you have considered, what all observations have you done, what was your experimentation environment, the experimentation, was it performed in the lab through apparatus, was it performed on simulator, what were the conditions, and what was the data set being used to perform that experimentation, what observations or readings were done in each and every test run of that experimentation, and what were the performance metrics used to analyze those readings and how those readings are getting compared with existing solution. This all thing you will have to put in your research methodology. During data collection and analysis, actually observed readings you will have to put forth. The analysis of those readings with help of statistical parameters and performance measures you will have to put forth, and what those analysis or that analysis is conveying in form of the observations. So those observations also you will have to put in form of your data collection. And finally, in conclusion, you will be writing concluding remarks. What were the findings of your experimentation or experimental validation? of your proposed solution and existing solution, how your proposed solution is inferior or superior to that of existing solutions, and what could be future work. These all things you will have to put in your conclusion. In the reference material, generally we try to write bibliography, appendices, glossary of terms and index. Our list of references is generally mentioned here. There are various styles and various ready-made packages available for putting this reference in automated format. So use one of those tools and that will be making your life easier. Once your research write-up is being prepared, you will have to have 3 drafts. First draft, you will be trying to identify after writing first draft whether all these sections are put in a proper order and are indicating some chronological flow of getting that solution addressed and developed. If you feel that rearrangement of few of these subsections, it will be more effective, then here you will have to rearrange those sections. Always you will have to make sure that if someone wants to reproduce this research in their own environment, the reproducibility should be achievable and it should be ensured. So don't hide anything. Whatever assumptions, presumptions you have made, simply put it in simple English language in a lucid manner, so that in future if somebody wants to repeat that, it will be ease for them. Generally, it is a myth that hide an important step from your solution so that nobody should be able to, but ideally it should be reproducible to the extent if possible. Create your GitHub account and try to put your source code even for the people who want to refer it in future. And then number of times you will be seeing your own document after all these rearrangement and confirmation of reproducibility of that respective research, where you will be disclosing everything and nothing will be hidden. Your first draft would be ready. In second draft, you will be checking grammar. Generally, Grammarly free version is available, so that helps us. Being not from native English country, we face lot of difficulties in use of sentences, tenses, then singular and plural tenses and speeches and verbs. And lot of times we don't know which articles out of a and the to be used. So there Grammarly like ready-made tools are available. They give us clear idea. To the extent possible, all the documents should be written in third person singular perception. So it should not be I have found, we have found, you will be witnessing. This I, we, you to be avoided. To the extent possible, full present tense should be used for our work which we have come up with, and past tense should be used for the literature survey. All punctuation marks, typographical mistakes to be avoided here. There, these softwares do help us in auto checking and correcting these things. These scientific symbols, if are being used, and if there is some conventional nomenclature or standard being followed, we should follow that standard. Like summation sign, if is used for summation, we cannot use that sign for differential. These kind of small things we'll have to take care of. All mathematical equations which we are going to use must be carefully read and drafted, and all the references should be checked for their completeness and availability on internet. Then in final reading, we should check that unnecessary jargon is being avoided, and we are trying to keep it very, very simple and very, very small to the extent possible. So large sentences should be broken down into small. Jargon of English which unavoidingly we have or unevidently we have used has to be simplified. And then we should try to see that impactfully whatever we want to convey in very simple small sentences is reaching to the audience or reader of that respective paper. For example, if I'm writing a considerable amount of, I may replace this by just saying much. A number of, I may say many or several. So whenever I'm saying employed, deployed, I may say used. Whenever I'm saying fabricated, I may say it is made. So something has capacity to, I may say something could do or something can do this. So these type of simplifications must have to be done. And then finally, you will be ready with your research write-ups. Always do remember that it should be as attractive as possible, number one. Number two, it should be as clear as possible. Number three, the language should be very, very balanced. There should not be any repetition of facts, same things. If you're repeating twice, thrice, it will give a different impact to the reader. The scientific facts should not be altered, should not be modified. Whatever we are proposing must be practicable, must be reproducible to anybody who wants to again verify this research findings in their own environments. And all the difficulties which we have come across should be put forth with the kind of solutions which we have used to overcome through those difficulties. Always good paper must have review of literature, treatment of quotations. If I have to take something which original authors have said, I'll be putting that thing in double quotes and I'll be referring and citing them. There will always be some nice readable size of fonts when it comes to putting those fonts in figures and graphs. Graphical representation will be more useful to make some concepts understood to the reader. Footnotes for some difficult things will always be helping. If abbreviations have to be used for the first time, whenever that abbreviation is getting introduced, along with long form, that abbreviation should be put in a bracket, and then those abbreviations should be used further. There should not be any presumptions that everyone will be knowing these simple abbreviations. Use of statistics, charts, and graphs will be improvising overall reading experience of your paper, and all the references must have to be put. Conclusion should be very unambiguous, very clear. Even if our solution is inferior to existing, there is no harm in agreeing that we have attempted so and so, but we miserably failed in that attempt. So that is also respected. Be very factful while putting those results. Don't copy, cut, and paste from anywhere. Be very honorable to yourself. Don't try to pull results from here and there by adjusting few of the basic facts. Take legal solutions. Always don't go for illegal kind of research to the extent possible in academic domain. Be truthful to your own self and your own document. Don't try to falsify anything in your document. Be very objective in writing everything. Don't be subjective. Don't pass sarcastic remarks, and don't try to adjudge without objective comparison subjectively to any of the authors or their work. Be as accurate as possible. Don't deceive, don't falsify, and most important is don't plagiarize. Reframe whatever you wish like taking from original in your own words. Read it twice, thrice, 4, 5 times, and after keeping it aside, try to rewrite it in your own simple words. That is paraphrasing or rephrasing. Don't copy and paste. That is very different. There are no shortcuts which exist. The path is or the journey is bit difficult, but be a learner always. Students have great time and they're great assets. Patience will always be rewarding you, and abstraction ability. There will be number of things which will be catching your attention, but you should be focused on your research work. After all, your project or your research work will lie forever on internet if it is getting published in good journal or good conference. So throughout your span of life and after your life, people will be referring the and valuing your work. You should look into and should have those aims into mind. And perseverance always helps to avoid frustrations. Now coming back to that initial thing, once we are coming up with a possible solutions which are better than existing, and if experimentally we can prove, try implementing those solutions for real life and try doing patenting of those solutions. After getting IPR, even if one single IPR is getting clicked, you will be earning in tremendous amount of money and all your dreams will be fulfilled. Even if not that IPR, the small contributions and delta improvements which you keep on publishing will be helping you people out further. in making your own mark among the research community, and that in turn will be bringing name, fame, and recognition into those respective areas. So even if not Lexus, you will be able to drive at least Tata Harrier or Tata Safari on some day. With this, I wish to thank the organizers, and I keep the platform open for questions and answers. I'll be more than obliged to answer a few of your queries if you have. Over to organizers.
Thank you, sir.
Uh,
It's a wonderful session. It's quite elaborative. I request Anchal or Sushant, any one of you, if any queries from student side, if they want to ask, you can ask one by one.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Participants, feel free to ask your questions. You can either unmute yourselves or you can ask them through the chat box.
Okay, there is a question in chat box by TCOA Bhavansh Gupta. He is asking, sir, can you explain what transaction papers and journal papers are and how they differ? Yes, I'll be more than happy to answer this query. Very intelligent and nice question. When we say journal paper, then definitely we need to have our own solution, and that improvement must have to be innovative if that journal is properly indexed journals or a good quality journal. It should not be self-proclaimed only international journal. And transactions are the nomenclatures being used by IEEE for their journals. They, instead of calling it as international journal, they call it as IEEE transaction on a particular domain. In a proper journal paper, you will be finding that proper literature review has been done. Nothing is hidden, and the solution which you are proposing is really novel and innovative. And through experimental comparisons with help of more than one test beds, the analysis has been done to compare your proposed novel solution with all the existing state-of-the-art solutions. If you don't want to compare it with all existing state-of-the-art solution, if you want to compare your solution with only one or two of the existing, then that novelty is not adjudged well. In that case, your observations can be published in Scopus or Web of Science Index conference papers. So conference papers, the volume of work is relatively lesser, and the comparisons are with lesser number of existing solutions. While for a good quality journal papers, you must compare your solutions with all existing solutions into that respective problem area. I hope that has answered your query.
Any student having any query, you can please free to ask.
Any other questions? Feel free to ask participants.
Okay.
Sir, I had one
Yes.
question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sir, is it possible that while implementing a research paper, we can publish the paper in parts? Like whenever we are publishing a main paper, then we can publish a particular model and then publish a final paper after that.
It is possible, not advisable, but it is possible. If you want to come up with your own idea, and if you want to have that claim that you were first to propose that idea, you can come up with ideation of your own work and compare theoretically that ideation with existing solutions. That theoretical comparison can be published first, and later with detailed experimentation, you may come up with detailed version of that respective paper. Generally, ideation is published in conferences, and after detailed analysis and comparison, the detailed versions are published in respective journals, where First of the references is your own published ideation paper.
Thank you, sir.
Ajay Vaidya is asking in chat box, is it okay to take inspiration on how to write the paper if it is based on an existing paper? Very intelligent question. Now this inspiration, as long as it remains inspiration, it is okay. It should not be cut copy paste business. You take inspiration, do your delta modification, and then try to come up with that same thing rewritten in your own words. So paraphrasing or rephrasing becomes very important. This inspiration should not be reproducing existing solution as it is, using some different data set and coming up with the same observations which original authors have already stated in their paper. There must have to be some delta modifications. That modification may or may not result in betterment, but those modifications and observations need to be mentioned and compare with the original source from where inspiration has been taken. I hope, Ajay, this has answered your question. There is a question by Ria Parekh.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
What
Sir.
if the overall accuracy of the implemented system is less than that of base paper? Does that affect the publishing? No. If you are putting the reasons that why your overall accuracy came lesser than that of existing. Now, there can be two reasons of this. If you have taken the results of existing as it is, as stated in their own work, that is not appropriate. You will have to reproduce the existing solutions into your experimentation environment and then compare. And if you can reason out why the accuracy duped, why you did not beat that accuracy, that will be very important finding that no one should attempt from this thinking or this modification, because it is not going to give improvisation. In that case, if you are coming up with that analysis why accuracy is not being beaten up or is not being surpassed, that will be definitely respected. I hope, Riya, I answered your question. Siddhant Kulkarni is asking, how much does a published paper help with admission to? Oh, it helps to a greater extent. To a great extent. It is not only admission. At the time of admission, if your research aptitude is to be adjudged, if you have already published paper in IEEE conferences or good journals, SCI like Science Citation Index or SCI e-journals or Web of Science journals, automatically it reflects that you are meticulous and you are different than all other competitors. So it helps, number one. Number two, after being on campus abroad, if you want to have research assistantship or teaching assistantship on campus, definitely those published papers will give you upper hand over all competitors on campus. So RA-ship or TA-ship, you will be paid for that. That will make your stay over there more affordable. So it is very much important. And it affects to a greater extent. Is it valid? Okay, Shreya Mahajan is asking, is it valid if we implement the same system as the base paper? You will have to implement the same system, then only delta improvement can be thought about. Unless and until you don't understand the same system, you won't be able to come up with your small improvement. But after implementation, try to modify few things, few of the basics of existing solution, and try to compare those the results of modification with that of original. Those results of modification with analysis, why it is performing better or not performing better, will be valued more. Bhavansh is asking, sir, are the papers from archive good enough to be added to T-seminar work? There are a lot of open platforms available. Archive is one, then you have GitHub. So GitHub has opened up, opened up all boundaries. So you may get whichever papers you want. Plus, try to have networking. Few of your friends, few of your seniors, few of your relatives, they would be studying in universities abroad or IITs where access to all these things are available. So we are living in open internet world where a lot of things are available. So archive is good enough source if you are selecting proper papers. Otherwise, there are other sources even. So it depends on the topic and kind of papers which you are selecting. Guides and mentors will help you here. Pranav is asking, sir, is it compulsory to implement whole project to apply for the conferences? Ideally, it is advisable. Otherwise, there will be no use. If you have partial results where you can compare yours with existing, results may be inferior or superior than that of existing, but results must have to be there for IEEE conferences. Otherwise, it will be wastage of money and time. So in a way, I would say it is better to have implementation and our own modified design results at hand with comparison to that of base paper or existing before applying to the conference.
Okay,
Any
sir.
other
Thank
queries,
you. Any
students?
other now? Yeah.
Good. Thank
Okay.
you very
I
much,
guess.
Mahajan sir and
Yes,
student
yes.
team from PVG.
I hope
For
most of these questions been answered. Many of your queries been already been satisfied during the presentation. As I mentioned earlier, it was a very elaborative session mentioning about the different sections of any research paper, which you, I hope, can conveniently read now and pick up the contents of your desire, of your wish, or of your interest, and then you can go on, putting your own inputs in those things and come up with a new thing or maybe an analysis in whatever way you want to put it in the paper, or you want to read it out or put it in the project. So I thank you, Dr. Sudeep sir, for sparing time for all of us, for our students, and giving them an insight regarding this research intricacies. I know there are so many things which still you can guide and tell them about, but I hope at this junction this is quite enough for them to carry on as far as their seminar or project work is concerned. Uh, Hopefully, we may have few more sessions in the near future as far as B students are concerned, or those students who have been more inclined to go for further MS programs abroad that way. So I thank you from my bottom of heart on behalf of PVG College of Engineering and Technology and the from ITSA team. So ITSA team has, our students have taken good efforts. So I think I have to, today we have around 143 students have joined with around with the toolings. So this is a great number, and I hope all of you have benefited from this small webinar, even though quite we can say effective in its approach and its contents. So thank you, sir, for joining today's session. Uh,
thank you, sir.
Sushant, it's
Pleasure
over
is
to you.
mine.
If anything left, Sushant or Anchal?
Yes, sir. I'll just thank him once and okay. So coming towards end of webinar, I would again thank sir on behalf of IT department and all the participants for sparing your crucial time and providing all of us with your invaluable knowledge in the research paper writing and publishing. And I'm sure
Just
that
yes, Anchal. Just one request that if
yes,
all
sir.
of us are making the camera on, we can take a snapshot for it. So
Yes,
Sushant, or
sir.
you can take a snapshot of the same, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure. I would request everybody to on camera for a snapshot. All participants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, could you stop presenting so that we could take a snapshot of maximum students? Thank you, sir.
Yes. Once you have done, let us know.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Hope
Thank
we'll
you,
see
sir.
you soon.
Yes, sir.
And We'll have great time. Okay. Thank you. Great time here. Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, students.
Yes.
Sushant is here still. Achal and Sushant, if you are here.
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Okay, I request one thing, that is, as you have recorded this session,
Yes,
please,
sir.
if you can put it in zip file,
Okay,
pass
sir.
it on to the students as well, to SETB students, and pass it to me also, so that
Okay,
as
sir.
sir has requested, he wished to have that particular presentation. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay,
Yes, so
and
we'll be
please,
uploading it on
if you have the
YouTube.
attendance, by any means if you have collected, also please pass on that attendance to me and Deshpande madam.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.